When you're up on stage, what are you thinking and feeling now, and how's it different than, say, when you started?
When I started, there was like a lot more like stage jitters and stuff, and a lot of trying to remember chords and trying to remember lyrics. And then when we got really huge, I got really kind of jaded for a while, and that wasn't very good. But now, so many years later, and we still have a pretty big following, and we can still tour and do well, which is a miracle. I always think, like, how fucking amazing is it that I'm doing this? That, like, I'm on stage and people are listening to me, and I wrote this song and people are loving it and they know the words and they're clapping. Like,
their kids are with them now.
I'm constantly filled with this crazy sense of, like, gratitude and astonishment.
I could see that, definitely.
Yeah. And also, when you're on the stage, a lot of times you really can't see the audience, right? Because there's so many lights.
Yeah, I can usually see the first few rows, which are always like the craziest, usually the craziest ones.
Yeah. When you were getting into music, the world was very, very different then. How do you feel about bands now trying to, there's no A&R, and how do you?
Honestly, I don't understand how anyone makes it, because there's no record companies, there's no radio, there's no like publicity department, there's no promotion, there's no marketing. It's all, I don't know, it's all like this weird crapshoot. Like, like somehow 10 million prepubescent girls found Justin Bieber on YouTube. Like, how did that even happen?
Yeah.
Like, I don't get how it works anymore.
Yeah, I think the advertisers found him.
Huh.
Yeah, that's what I think it is, right? Like, he's cute.
We spent lots of time trying to figure out how YouTube works and how you can become hit and hot, and we still have not figured that out. That's an algorithm that's sealed in a vault somewhere.
Yeah. One of my friends is a piano teacher, and she said that the number of kids learning how to play piano and guitar is like 10% of what it was 10 years ago.
Well, that's so sad.
I mean, how does that make you feel to realize kids really aren't being inspired as much these days?
Well, I have to say that when the Go-Go's started in the 70s, and we worked so hard and so long to try and get somewhere, and even after years of being a band, and we could play anywhere in California, we would just go up and down the coast between San Francisco and LA, playing these clubs, and it would always be, packed with kids, and everyone loved us, and we couldn't get a record deal. And the record companies all said, oh, well, there's never been a successful all-girl band, there never will be. And we're like,
we are.
That's a punk rock attitude, right? Yeah.
So we ended up signing with a tiny label, and and then they were wrong. We sold millions of records, people loved us, and at that point I thought, awesome, everything's gonna change now. We've changed everything. Yeah, whoa. But you know what? Nothing really changed.
No.
Like, there still aren't like a bunch of girl bands. There really aren't. There aren't a lot of girl musicians. Of course, there's plenty of great girl singers, and they're all sexy, and they all have great boobies, much like I do tonight.
Cheer for the boobies.
I am on fleek, as my nieces say. I'm representing ageism. Look, you can still be sexy and be like 5,000 years old. Hell yeah!
Like Joan of Arc right now.
So yeah, my point being, like, how weird that we did it 30 plus years ago, and kind of it didn't really change anything.
Well, it seems like in today's world, you have to put out your music, you have to put it out for free, so everybody can download it, and then you have to tour and then charge a lot for your tickets and then t-shirts and all the other kind of accoutrement that goes with that, and that's where you make your money.
Yes, you have got it all figured out.
Well,
that is how it is.
You gotta eat, like, spam for a while, right? I guess.
So if you go see one of your favorite bands, you should buy a t-shirt, because you're probably putting some food on their table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.